Hello. I remember weeks ago when I watched the Shen Yun performance. I was in the queue and there were loads of people, and it was a huge venue. And anyway, during the beginning, I saw first saw various people, various dancers, and they were like doing a performance, and they were dancing, and I saw some dancers doing things like balancing things on their heads and so on. Anyway, I looked, saw what was happening during the performance. They weren't just dancing, there was a screen which showed things like what was happening throughout. Like they showed landscapes on the screen, and they showed various things like camps, for instance, and people out there. And it was like, and they showed a screen like people engaging in battle, war, for instance, and anyway, during the performance, I saw various things apart from dancing, like there were people playing the piano, and I saw things like it was not just a performance, it was like a story, like it was history, like what happened thousands of years ago in China. That was like before communism. Anyway, during the performance, I saw things like during the dance, like there was a woman holding a baby, and it was just like a doll. Anyway, as she was holding a baby, a group of intruders, invaders, attempted to kidnap the baby and possibly hurt the lady. And there were people on her side who attempted to attack those invaders who were attempting to take the baby from her. And as a result, they returned the baby to the lady during that performance. And I saw things like on the screen, like they showed things like people in tents, camps, and that people were engaging in battle, for instance, and that I saw a person jump into a well to hide from possibly conflicts, for instance, during the performance. Anyway, throughout the performance, I saw two people, a man and a woman, as the curtains were drawn in each performance, and they talk about like what was happening in the performance, what they're going to do, and things like why was Shen Yun not allowed in China, for instance, and why they prohibit it. Anyway, during the performance, I when I looked at the performance, I saw things that I didn't quite expect. Like, I, I went to years ago recently, and when I was a child, I have seen various dances, but I haven't seen dances that involve history. That was something new. Anyway, um, throughout the performance, they they showed things uh, like, for instance, they showed a monk, for instance, and the person was drunk or something. Anyway, throughout the performance, it it took about like 1.5 to 2 hours, for instance, and there was a break in between the performance, and during the end I saw various all the people on stage, and it it was quite a long performance, and it was kind of colorful, although there were certain things I had seen, like it wasn't just just a performance. It showed things like history, for instance, like what happened in China many years ago before communism, and it, they showed throughout the history, and they showed in the present time, like they showed what happened in 2020, and it showed things like zero COVID, for instance. That was the present time during the pandemic. Anyway, so most of the performance was colorful, but there's certain things that there's more than meets the eye. Like it's not that like it's not just any performance, or that it was colorful with all of the dancers. However, it was just during the end. They mentioned like history, for instance, and it showed things like a bit of propaganda, and it was propaganda for the for China, like what the Chinese communists did when communism began in China, for instance. So that's what it showed. And however, for Shen Yun, the performance, so they showed so things like, when I came across what they did for Shen Yun, they showed things like they do various exercises, spiritual things like spiritual healing, and they do do practices like that are, some people say, in opposition to science, for instance. And however, for Shen Yun, it has connections with Falun Falun Gong, which is a political party which is in opposition to the Chinese Communist Party in China. thing is with Shen Yun, it's very popular, but however, the money that was spent goes to Falun Gong, like it funds their activities. So throughout the history, people of Falun Gong, there were rumors that they were being prosecuted by the Chinese communist government and that they were persecuted, imprisoned, and that they were in concentration camps, and that there were rumors that the Communist Party not only persecuted the members of Falun Gong and people who had connections to Shen Yun, there were rumors that they harvested their organs, which I didn't expect when I looked at various sources anyway, but they were like rumors, but it's possible that those rumors were true. Two sides to the story. Anyway, for Falun Gong, people say that Falun Gong helps people, like it helps people physically, spiritually, and psychologically in various teachings. However, there were some people who say that the teachings are misleading, and some people interpret that they could be dangerous in some ways, but those were just people's interpretations. Anyway, the thing is with Falun Gong, they did various people and who practice and there was one person, a woman, her name Colin. She did what members of Falun Gong taught her, and she did things like what they taught her. However, there were rumors that as a result of the teachings, that the lady, she believed what was there, and she stopped taking medications as a result of the teachings, and she stopped listening to the science, and as a result there were certain things like unexpected events, and she passed, Colin, as a result of believing the things that she was taught. However, and as a result, Colin passed at 75. However, other people say that those were people's interpretations of Falun Gong and Shen Yun. So, throughout the day, Some people say that the teachings of Falun Gong, close connections with Shen Yun, can be beneficial, although there are some drawbacks, like there are some problems with it. The trouble is that Falun Gong, in opposition to China, was endorsed by people like political candidates like Donald Trump, for instance, members of the Republican Party, for instance. So that's what I saw after the Shen Yun performance when I looked at various videos, various websites, and all that. So would I want to see the performance again for Shen Yun? The thing is, the tickets were very expensive, and they will show, mostly they would show the same things all over again. So I don't see the point in going there again. And it was not just a performance, it was not just history, it was also propaganda as well, which people need to be aware of while going to watch a performance of Shen Yun. That's what I wanted to say. And that Shen Yun has connections with Falun Gong, and and the money goes there, it funds their activities, which people need to be aware of. So if there were any other dancers, like, for example, dancers that just show various performances and not like propaganda and not connections with any political ideology, just traditional dancers, for instance, then I would be delighted to see and listen to those performances, for instance. That's what I wanted to say about what I saw in Shen Yun. And anyway, that's all I wanted to say about what I saw. Anyway, I'll see you again soon. Hit like. As always, peace out. Bye.